G'day guys, Wayne McHale here, Central Goldfields Ratepayers and Residents Association. What we're going to try and do here is give you a very brief explanation on the Carisbrook Levee Review Report. And this was handed down last Tuesday by Fred Spain from the New South Wales Government. This actual report is extremely thorough, and we and Council have all agreed to accept the terms. The Council put out a statement about this report, and it says the report has found that overall there's confidence in the catchment modelling to which the levee has been built. So before we get any further, we'd like to explain the difference between the catchment modelling and the actual plans. So this one here, there's the trotting track here, Carisbrook is here, and the cemetery is up here. So this is a catchment modelling. So this is showing you that all the water is coming down, and this is catchment modelling. So we're relatively happy with the modelling that's actually been done by that. But then you look at the modelling. In order to get it to work, you then have to put it into the plan. So what we have down here is, well, this is the levee coming down here. So what they've done is they've got the actual water coming down. They've said, right, we'll put a design here, and then they do the modelling. So according to, this is North Central Catchment, using all the figures that Fred Spain has also had, is from that modelling with the design that was put forward by insurer that the council used, this is what North Central Catchment said the outcome will be. So we've got plan and modelling, and then we've got modelling. So when they say the modelling is correct, we agree with that. But the report itself, throughout, states that when Council put the actual modelling to paper, to put it on the land, that's where a lot of problems went to ground. So we'll go right through with it. So we'll start off right away, we'll go to the report and we'll go into the summary. The summary itself is the executive summary there. And then it goes down to 17 points. So one which is a very, very key one, which says no internal flood study has been undertaken. So where there may be protection from an external flood in rain, rain also falls inside. So we'll explain that one to you. So we've got the levee coming down here. So with the levee, the rain west of the levee is known as external study. So that's from where all the rain is coming. And then what happens at the levee, if the rain falls on the east side of the levee, that's what they refer to as an internal study. So what this finding says, that the actual findings were done, what happens west of the levee, but there's been no study. So if you have a place that is east of the levee, according to this report, that has not been modelled accurately. So therefore, they have recommended that Carisbrook itself, or internal study, be actually remodelled. So that's point one. So we'll now go through the rest, where it says from the document provided that everybody's assumed that the LiDAR model is perfect, where it is not perfect. 3 is that it believed that imperfections of the model has led to a culture of consistent blindly following what the model says. So they've looked at the model and said that is right, but they haven't taken in practical issues. The actual levee itself was modelled on every 10 metres. But in 10 metres you can have quite a bit difference of ground change, but that has not been taken up, so they reckon that should be given consideration. Right, 4, there's been no real thought given into the practicality of turning theory into practice. So once again, in the computer it says how it goes, but when you put it on the land, there are so many different addings. The land doesn't do an actual debris study and things like that, and these are the other things that needed to be put in, and this has been picked up from day one. The information provided, only minimal, has given a selection of nominal 300 freeboard. Now this freeboard is something that has got a lot of concern, so we'll explain this to you as simply as we can. This is the levee. This is ground level, so the water is coming from external, from the west of the levee. What they do is they estimate what the 1 in 100 flow will be, and that's this level here. So they're saying that the water's going to come and hit the levee at this level here, and that's fine. So they then estimate that we will need to give a little bit of freeboard just in case there's, a little bit of alteration, something happens, so therefore you need extra freeboard. The Victorian government actually stipulates, or the regulation stipulates, that they would like you to work with 300 freeboard. But they then stipulate it's up to the individual authority to actually make their own assessment. So in all honesty, the onus is then onto, we'll say, the council or the planners or the engineer involved to actually make their assessment on what is the actual freeboard. We'll get into that one a little bit later. Now we'll go over the track and we'll say, and as he says, was working with 300 freeboard, that gives you the slimmest margin of error. So you are working with basically the smallest possible margin of error. The entire system's drained culvert must be operational ready. This was a huge issue which stipulated maintenance. There is no maintenance. They don't even have a maintenance record at this stage. So that has been a huge issue. The fact that some of the levee has been finished since 2016-17 and there is still no maintenance. Again, 2 stormwater pipes under the South of Pyrenees Highway served no purpose. So what he's referring to there, and we'll be using this map quite a bit. So we've got Williams Road here, Cemetery here. This is the levee coming down here, down to the trotting track there. So what he's talking about is this area here, or the yellow line is what council actually decided to build. The black line is what the community wanted. So here and here they've got 2 pipes going through the levee. So what he's saying is once you put a pipe through the actual levee, it weakens it. And it's an area which is going to be prone to problems. So he's saying those 2 pipes, which the council stated were put in, or North Central or whoever, stated that it was put in to water the wetlands. But Fred has stated that those 2 pipes have got to be removed. So then we go over, since model has been undertaken, there appears to be no reason why culverts under the Pyrenees Highway restrict the flow, which makes it a retention basin. So once again we'll go back, we'll come down Pyrenees Highway, 2 culverts, and you can see that yellow line goes at a 45-degree angle. The community wanted it to go straight. So this little area there, he has stipulated that 2 culverts there is not adequate to cater for the flow, the amount of water that's coming over land externally. So he's saying it's going to, in his opinion, overtopple there. So if it's going to overtopple, where is it going to go? This is something that hasn't been able to tell, but he's saying that this here, he believes it to be inadequate, and he suggested that they remodel it. So this is another issue they've got there. So, the keys appears that an earth, this is number 11, an earth bank pipe block flow under the railway culverts are properly halfway between Pyrenees Highway and Chaplin Road. So again, we come down, this is Wills Road, there's culverts under the railway line, just here. So they're saying that those culverts, there's a blockage there. So if this blocks, all the water's then going to come here, which is a concern. So again, it will potentially put danger for Carisbrook. So he's asking him to look into that and research into that. All sections of the levee where the system has a required freeboard are to be raised. So what he's actually done here, and we'll go into freeboard, which is here. So with this one here, we have got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got 10 areas where the freeboard is below the 300 even recommended. And here we've got 290, 50, 10 above freeboard. It's at the railway line. Pleasant Street becomes High Street. So you've got 10, 160, 160, 210. And then we go to Williams Road, where it overflows 40, 40 and minus 70. So these are huge, and he's stipulated that these have to be rectified urgently. So we go in, so that's another issue he's got there. The accurate survey of survey marks used in the levee set. So the reason that one was put in is because, again, we've got the trotting track here. The end of the levee is here. Council decided they weren't going to put that end bit in the levee because this is designed to stop the water from flowing, again, back into part of the town. Council decided they didn't want to put that in, and when we asked why that was done, the answer was they deemed that the ground was actually high enough and it wasn't required, so they decided they weren't going to put that in. So that is another concern. Judging by the estimate there, I would say Fred has decided that there's possibly differences between what the actual surveyor stated, the actual state height, or the actual LiDAR. So the bottom line is, this hasn't been put in, it is a major, and he suggested that you go and redo, because on several occasions the actual survey levels are very questionable. The culvert under Eddington Road. The culvert under Eddington Road needs to be clean, reeds and so forth. So that one there, again, we've got the trotting track here, Bucknell Street, Eddington Road. It goes under, oops, we'll try and get that, there we go. It goes under a bridge here. It flows well in this way, but out this side, it is a Vic Roads. It's absolutely chock-a-block. It's absolutely full. So he's recommended that they look at clearing that. Even though it's Vic Roads, he suggested that you advocate it or get something to get that cleared, because that is stopping it, and when that stops, it starts backing up and backing up and backing up. So that's where he said this area here, there is a few dams there that was concerns, so these are areas that needed to be looked at. Ongoing vegetation needs to be undertaken, the creek, to ensure the modelling is. So again, with the creek, we've got here. And what he stated, you can see it's banking up. This is the thickest area, which is through the bridge here, and then down through Carisbrook. So here we go, here's your bridge. So all this area, and he suggested that we actually clear the bridge from down here, clear the creek, sorry, all the way up to here. So he stated that you actually do more of the creek, and he suggested we go harder and get it done. And again, that's something that can be done virtually straight away. Additional, and then 16 and 17 are the actual flap valves at Landrigan Road, and also Bucknell Street and Pyrenees Highway. So he's found they're virtually rusted in, and he's really not happy with those, so he's recommended that they get done. So when council are saying that the actual catchment modelling is good, we totally agree. We think it is good. But the problem is, when they converted it into reality and then put it into the plan, that's where things went wrong. The question was posed to Fred that all these low freeboard areas, which are extremely drastic, we actually asked Fred if, in his opinion, was it contractual error or was it levee design error? And we believe his response was levee design. So the fact we've now got this in place, and this will now tell you that the actual concerns we've got, Williams Road, the culvert under Landrigan Road there, they put a culvert under there, it's U-shaped, it's blocked and water can't get through. So of course it goes over Williams Road and flows back into Carisbrook. So that's a problem. You've then got two pipes going down to Pyrenees Highway. The Pyrenees Highway is also a problem there. We've got what we call the dogleg down here, so that's another problem. Then we come down to Will Street, where they've put the culvert down the Will Street. According to this report, Will Street is not part of the culvert. His report stipulates it's a drain. It is not, because the actual levee goes all the way down there. So he's stated that Will Street is a drain and is not a levee. So he's asked them to realign it. So where council say that he made a few suggestions, including an internal flood study, I would probably suggest it might be a little more than that. But hopefully the council are now onto it. Thank you to everybody who made the effort to get in to bring this to light. We now have the actual documentation, and we certainly know that council at the moment are looking very keenly into this Carisbrook Western Levee report, and we hope that this gives you a clear idea of what's going. So thank you for your time, and we hope this makes things a little bit easier for you. That's Wayne McHale, Central Goldfields Ratepayers and Residents Association, signing off.